The ground shakes. The wind howls across the Texas plains. Oil rigs burn against the horizon. And in the middle of it all, two of Hollywood's most powerful voices rise from the dust: Sam Elliott and Billy Bob Thornton. This isn't just another season. This is war on the oil fields. And it begins with Landman, Season 2, Episode 1. The story of Landman is back, and the stakes have never been higher. Season 1 left us with betrayal, broken families, and a fight for power buried deep in the oil fields of Texas. Now, Season 2 steps in with a thunderstorm of new energy, and right at the center are two legendary actors who know how to command the screen: Sam Elliott and Billy Bob Thornton. Their arrival changes everything. Imagine the dusty roads stretching out across endless plains, the hum of oil rigs drilling into the heart of the earth, and the quiet tension before chaos breaks loose. That is where Landman takes us once again. The show has always been about more than oil. It is about power, greed, loyalty, and survival. And in Season 2, those themes only cut deeper. This is not just a continuation of the story, it's an escalation. The fights will be dirtier, the betrayals sharper, and the consequences far deadlier. Sam Elliott's presence in this world feels like destiny. His voice alone can silence a room, and in Landman it carries the weight of tradition, resilience, and unshakable authority. When he steps into this drama, you don't just see another character, you feel a force of nature. Billy Bob Thornton, on the other hand, brings the opposite energy: sharp, cunning, unpredictable. He thrives on chaos, and in the brutal world of oil politics, chaos is a weapon. Together, their dynamic isn't just powerful, it's explosive. Season 2 promises to bring viewers a deeper look at the human cost of drilling for wealth and power. The dusty fields aren't just landscapes, they're battlegrounds where families are torn apart, friendships are tested, and legacies are built on blood and sweat. Every deal sign comes with betrayal hidden in the fine print, and every rig that drills into the ground pulls up not only oil but secrets, lies, and rivalries that refuse to stay buried. As the trailer hints, this season will not hold back. The tone is heavier, darker, and more dangerous. The camera doesn't just show oil rigs and boardrooms, it follows the human wreckage left in their shadow. We see fathers and sons pushed apart by greed. We see partners turned against each other when the price of loyalty is too high. And we see men like Elliott and Thornton stand in the middle of it all, demanding power in a world where trust is the rarest currency. This is what makes Landman different from any other drama. It doesn't polish the rough edges of life in the oil business, it digs into the dirt and shows you the raw truth. It doesn't matter if you've never stepped foot in Texas or stood near a rig. The story pulls you in with something universal. The fight to hold on to what matters when the world is trying to take it all away. And this fight is just beginning. Asterisk. The world of Landman is not just about oil. It's about power that runs deeper than the rigs drilling into the Texas ground. And in Season 2, the story takes a darker, sharper turn, one that will test every character, every family, and every alliance. This isn't simply another chapter. This is the beginning of a storm that could wipe out everything in its path. The new season picks up where the first one left. US on the edge of betrayal, with old wounds still open and new enemies rising from the shadows. We know the land is rich, but so is the greed that lives in every handshake and every whispered deal behind closed doors. When the machines roar to life, when the drills cut into the dirt, they don't just pull up oil, they drag out buried secrets, old grudges, and rivalries that refuse to die. Sam Elliott's arrival in this season feels like a shift in gravity. His character doesn't just walk onto the screen. He carries the weight of tradition and history. He's a man who knows what it means to build a life from the ground up, and he's not about to let the new order of greed-driven powerhouses tear it apart without a fight. His voice cuts through the noise like steel, and his presence demands respect in a world where respect is a currency most people can't afford. On the other side, Billy Bob Thornton enters with a different kind of fire. Where Elliott's character is steady like stone, Thornton's is a spark waiting to ignite chaos. He's clever, ruthless, and unpredictable. Every smile hides a scheme, and every deal feels like a trap. His character isn't just here to play the game, he's here to flip the board. break the rules and leave everyone else scrambling for survival. In the oil fields, where every barrel means blood or fortune, Thornton knows how to twist both. The trailer hints at conflicts that are bigger, more dangerous, and far more personal. We see glimpses of families divided, fathers turning their backs on sons, brothers pointing guns at each other in the shadows of the rigs, and lovers caught between loyalty and survival. The land itself becomes a battlefield, not just for oil, but for the souls of the people fighting over it. In this world, the ground may be rich, but it is poisoned with greed. And no one walks away clean. Season 2 also promises to push the limits of betrayal. What was once a quiet alliance will erupt into a bitter rivalry. Those who once worked side by side will become enemies, ready to tear each other apart. And the ones who seem strongest may not survive the storm that's coming. Because in the world of Landman, the question isn't just who controls the oil, it's who can survive the weight of power when it starts to crush everyone in its reach. The trailer makes one thing clear: this season is bigger. The landscapes are vast, but the emotions are intimate. We see wide shots of oil rigs stretching toward the sky, but the real battles are fought in living rooms, in dusty backroads, in the quiet moments when characters are forced to choose between loyalty and survival. It's not just about drilling into the ground, it's about drilling into the hearts of people, tearing them open and watching what spills out for viewers. This season isn't just an invitation to watch, it's a challenge to feel the heat, the weight, and the danger that hangs in every frame. Every look between characters hides unspoken tension. Every handshake is a gamble with a knife pressed against the back. And every decision leads to consequences that no one can escape. This is where Landman thrives in, showing us the truth that power doesn't come without sacrifice. Families will be broken. Trust will be shattered. And men like Sam Elliott and Billy Bob Thornton will remind us that when it comes to survival, no one plays fair, the storm is here. And in Season 2, survival comes with a price. Asterisk in Landman Season 2, the heart of the show beats through its characters. The oil fields may dominate the horizon, but it's the men and women who walk among them that shape the true battles. This season isn't only about drilling into the ground, it's about drilling into the human soul. And with the arrival of Sam Elliott and Billy Bob Thornton, the story gains two forces of nature who promise to shift the balance of power. Forever. Sam Elliott steps into this world like a storm rolling across the plains. His presence is not loud or flashy, but it is impossible to ignore. Every word he speaks carries the weight of history, of years lived on hard land, of sacrifices made in silence. His character embodies the old code: honor, grit, and a belief in values that the modern world has nearly forgotten. In the oil fields, where money corrupts and power blinds, he becomes a reminder that strength isn't just about wealth. It's about resilience. It's about standing firm when everything else is crumbling. Elliott doesn't need theatrics. He doesn't need to shout. His performance will come in the pauses between his words, in the gravel of his voice, in the silence of his stare. That's what makes his role so dangerous to those around him. He doesn't play games, he calls them out. And when men like him enter the field, others have no choice but to take notice. On the other side, Billy Bob Thornton delivers something entirely different. Where Elliott's character is a wall of stone, Thornton's is fire. Wild, cunning, and unpredictable. His charm is disarming, his wit is sharp, and his smile hides more knives than any enemy could carry. Thornton thrives in roles where chaos lurks beneath calm, and in Landman, that chaos becomes a weapon. His character doesn't just bend rules, he breaks them, and he does it with a grin. The clash between these two performances is what will define Season 2. Elliott and Thornton are not simply playing roles. They are breathing life into two philosophies of survival. Elliott represents tradition and stability, a man holding on to the last strands of integrity in a world where integrity is fading fast. Thornton represents disruption, a man who thrives in the ashes of broken trust and shattered alliances. When these two collide, it isn't just about dialogue or screen presence, it's about two forces colliding. Two storms tearing across the same land, but Landman isn't only about its new stars. Returning characters will face their own trials, and the weight of Elliott and Thornton's presence will push them into corners they've never been before. Characters who once seemed unshakable will crack under pressure. Loyalties that felt unbreakable will snap. The oil business doesn't forgive, and the new season proves it doesn't forget either. Every actor on this stage is asked to bring more than performance. They must bring truth. The dirt on their boots, the sweat on their faces, the pain in their eyes. This is a show that thrives on realism, and Season 2 leans even harder into that grit. You won't see perfect heroes or flawless villains. You'll see people flawed, desperate, hungry for survival. And that is where the audience connects. Because behind the dust and power struggles, there is something human, something painfully real. Imagine a scene where Sam Elliott delivers a single line, his voice steady, his eyes fixed on someone half his age, reminding them that the land remembers every sin. Then imagine Thornton, moments later, laughing in the face of danger, making a deal so crooked it could topple empires. Those are the contrasts that keep you glued to the screen, not just for the story, but for the raw performances that feel larger than life. The trailer teases just enough of this. We hear fragments of dialogue, see flashes of heated arguments, glimpse moments where fists shake and voices crack. But what it doesn't show is the depth waiting beneath. The quiet moments where a character breaks down alone in a truck, the hesitation before pulling a trigger, the look in someone's eyes when they realize their family is slipping away, all for the promise of black gold. That's what Season 2 delivers, a world where performance isn't about acting, but about truth. Elliott and Thornton raise the stakes, not only for the story but for everyone around them. They demand better, sharper, deeper, and the result is a cast that feels alive, fragile, and ready to explode at any second. This isn't a show where characters simply move through a script. This is a battlefield where every choice feels real, where every performance cuts deeper than the last. And when legends like Sam Elliott and Billy Bob Thornton take their place on that battlefield, you know one thing for certain: the fight will not be forgotten. The screen goes black. Silence hangs heavy, broken only by the faint hum of machinery echoing in the distance. Then boom, the roar of an oil rig exploding cuts through the dark, flames climbing into the night sky. The trailer for Landman Season 2 doesn't ease you in, it grabs you by the throat and refuses to let go. Every second feels like a heartbeat racing faster and faster, building toward something unstoppable. The closing montage is where the story and the performances collide in a storm of chaos, betrayal, and power. Images flash like lightning across the screen. Sam Elliott's weathered face staring down a man half his age, his voice steady and unshaken. Billy Bob Thornton leaning back in his chair with a dangerous smile, smoke curling from his cigar. A family dinner turning into a shouting match that ends with someone storming out into the night. A deal made in the shadows, a handshake that feels more like a death sentence than an agreement, and then the pace quickens. Fists slamming against tables. Guns drawn under the cover of darkness. Oil pouring across the dirt as sirens wail in the distance. Faces twisted in anger, eyes wet with grief, voices trembling with rage. Each image is a promise, a warning that Season 2 will push the story to its breaking point. The music builds. Drums pound like thunder. Strings cut sharp like steel wires snapping under pressure. You can almost feel the ground shake beneath your feet as the trailer cuts from one scene to the next. Every shot tighter, faster, more intense. Until you realize this isn't just about oil or land or power. This is about survival. Pure, raw survival in a world where everyone has something to lose, and then comes the line. The one that silences the chaos and burns into your memory. Maybe it's Elliott's gravel voice saying, "The land remembers what you take from it," or Thornton's sly whisper, "Everything has a price, and I'll be the one to collect it." A single sentence that lingers long after the screen fades to black. That's when the words appear, bold and unshakable. Landman, Season 2, Episode 1. The letters rise from the dust like a monument carved into stone. Behind them, the faint glow of fire reflects in the night sky, a reminder of the danger that never goes away. This isn't just a return. It's a reckoning. The final moments of the trailer serve as a call to arms for the audience. The voiceover makes it clear, when oil runs deep, so does the danger. And in Season 2, the fight has only just begun. It's not an invitation, it's a challenge. A dare to step back into the dust, the heat, and the chaos, and see who makes it out alive for fans who watch Season 1. This trailer is a promise that every unanswered question will explode into new battles. For newcomers, it's an irresistible taste of a world unlike anything else on television, a world where money fuels greed. Greed fuels violence, and violence leaves scars that never heal. The camera pulls back one last time, wide and endless, showing the Texas horizon. Oil rigs stand like skeletons against the sunset, flames still burning in the distance. A storm brews on the horizon, thunder rolling low, lightning flashing across the dark sky. And as the screen fades to black, the music cuts. Silence again, heavy, final dot, the date appears. The reminder that this fight is closer than you think, and with that, the trailer ends. No explanations. No safety. Just anticipation that hangs in the air like smoke after a fire, because Landman isn't just a story. It's a war that pulls you in, breaks you down, and leaves you wanting more dots, so when the screen finally fades to black, and the last echo of Sam Elliott's voice lingers in your ears, you're left with one thought. You don't watch Landman. You survive it.